Χαίρετε κυρίες και κύριοι, καλώς ορίσατε στο Euronews. Η Ευρώπη χάνει έδαφος έναντι των ανταγωνιστών της και πρέπει οπωσδήποτε να αλλάξει άμεσα το παραγωγικό της μοντέλο, εάν θέλει να συνεχίσει να αναπτύσσεται, προειδοποιεί ο οικονομολόγος Ντάνιελ Γκρος από το Κέντρο Μελετών Ευρωπαϊκής Πολιτικής. Όπως είπε στο Euronews με αφορμή τη συμμετοχή του στο Οικονομικό Φόρουμ των Δελφών, μέσα σε αυτό το δύσκολο περιβάλλον η Ελλάδα έχει καταφέρει να βρεθεί σε έναν ενάρετο κύκλο. Για να το διατηρήσει όμως πρέπει οπωσδήποτε να μειώσει το χρέος της. Mr. Gross, the European economy is facing once again different headwinds, the cost of living crisis, slow growth, fierce competition from the US and China, the costly green and digital transition. Which do you consider the biggest challenge and what risks does it entail for European citizens?
The biggest challenge for Europe is perhaps to change growth model. Over the last years, the growth model has always been more of the same. More investment, more reforms, and this has not worked very well because European industry is increasingly concentrated in low to middle technology. Europe has lost the edge in high technology. That is all American now. And therefore, the key point is to change model, to go into new sectors, not to invest more in the old ones.
You mentioned in a recent article that R&D funds shouldn't be spent on sunset industries. Could you explain which industries do you mean and where should investment head to?
Now, for the time being, European firms invest still a lot, but they invest in industries that have little or only moderate growth potential, like automobiles. Especially Europe is strong in the traditional cars with internal combustion engine. But these are things not yet of the past, of the present, but they don't have a big future. And that's why the governments also should not try to prop up the existing automobile industry, but they should try to direct resources towards new ones, like electrical vehicles, like software, like artificial intelligence, and so on.
Given the fact that we don't talk in Europe a lot about the growth model, and it might take a while for it to happen, do you see the risk of Europe sliding into recession?
Recession would be a short-term phenomenon. I don't see a big reason for that because with energy prices lower, wages increasing, the purchasing power of our workers is increasing, and therefore I expect actually that demand in Europe should recover. No recession, but only very moderate growth prospects, and therefore Europe is not perhaps going into recession, but it is losing relative to the United States and of course relative to China and other strongly growing emerging economies.
The big question for most European households and businesses is the question of when the interest rates will be cut. Do you see it happening this year?
It is likely to happen this year, but it will be very slow because the European Central Bank made already a mistake when inflation went up, and now it wants to avoid at all costs to make the same mistake. So if it cuts very slowly, that might at first appear to be painful, but cutting slowly means also that then rates can remain low for a long time, and I think that is the key issue. How long can we then have another period of low inflation and low interest rates?
The Greek economy has managed to outperform its European partners the past 2 years. Do you see the country keeping up the good work?
For the time being, it looks very good, and we see something that perhaps wasn't clear beforehand, that when you get public finances under control, you get the debt level down, then the risk premium falls, people have more confidence, invest more, and you initiate a virtuous circle of more investment, more growth, and therefore also lower deficits and lower debt. And for the time being, I think Greece is now finally on this virtuous circle, whereas it had been on the vicious circle of higher debt and higher low growth for 10 years before that. So let's hope it continues this way.
Is there anything that could endanger this virtuous circle?
Of course, if the government starts to spending again and forgets that the key issue is to get debt down as quickly as possible, then people might lose confidence, investment will fall, and the virtuous circle will stop.
Mr. Γκρος, thank you very much.
You're welcome.